So as a quick clarification, this apparently was a side story, which I think is very apparent after this basically just being an episode focusing on Shizu and her encounter with this new character, which is apparently being called Diablo. So anyone that is wondering, like, wait a minute, I thought last week was, you know, the finale. Technically, it is, until Season 2 comes out. But this episode and next episode is just side stories. This was focusing on Shizu, apparently, and next episode is focusing on Veldera's diary. So this is just little side content to tide us over until, you know, Season 2 finally does come out. So let's get right into it. This episode surprised me, because the new character that's being introduced, Diablo, which he was going by Kuro, but then we found out at the end, from narration from Rimuru, and apparently the demon dude is going to be called Diablo. I really like the character. In terms of design, big fan. Big fan of design. I really do hope that when he is finally named, his design doesn't radically shift to the point of like what happened with the ogres. You remember with the ogres, back in the earlier portion of Reincarnated as a Slime, they looked really cool with their ogre-like designs, and when they became named, they became more human-looking, which they kind of lost those certain features that made them look really unique. I hope Diablo doesn't end up in the exact same way. I do hope that when he gets a name, he keeps his design. Maybe he looks a little bit better, like in terms of maybe more armor or demonic-looking features. But I do hope that he doesn't lose certain little flares to his character that just make him really cool. Like, I love his outfit. I love his facial design with his eyes. I love the little red, like, hair, like, you know, calic he has going on. I love the way his claws and his hands are. I just hope that his overall design doesn't have a radical shift when Rimuru does name him. But let's get right into it. So, I do like how this character, Diablo, at first glance, he seems like a bad guy. That's what you could get from his character, especially when we found out that there's this demon, you know, rampaging this capital and just destroying things, killing people. Many of us were probably, like, under the impression that this character, Kuro/Diablo, was the one that was causing it. Come to find out, that actually wasn't the case, and there was this demon, which was actually disguising himself as the ruler of this country, that was causing all the problems. And the demon that we were introduced at the beginning of the episode turned out to actually be a good guy, which kind of makes sense now. I mean, with this guy now technically going to be working with Rimuru, it makes sense now that he's not necessarily a bad guy, because Rimuru wouldn't probably summon an evil freaking demon or something, so yeah, it makes sense. Which, by the way, the demon is very honorable. Like, he may be a little bit savage in terms of maybe hurting people and all that, but he is honorable, it seems, in terms of his contract. Like, when he was summoned by the member of the Silverwing or whatever, and she's like, I want you to get vengeance and take down the people that did us wrong, for instance, the actual demon that was leading the capital city, he followed through with that request. Even though technically she died, like, I'm assuming she died and the person that was beside her already died, he actually decided to honor that request even after their deaths and conclude what he set out to do. So I do appreciate that. That was a really nice little detail with his character, showing that when he does get a contract, regardless, he will conclude it to its very end, and even if the owner is gone. So, in a way, he is someone that can be respected. You know, he does follow through with his promises. So he isn't like one of those demons that make a contract and doesn't uphold it. Now, by the way, I do think that the little detail on Shizu's mask was incredibly important, and I'm kind of curious about that, because for that detail to be mentioned, I don't know if it's ever been mentioned before. Has it? Has it been mentioned before? I know the mask conceals your power, but I don't think it's ever been mentioned that the mask is related to time, like infinity. I don't think that's ever been mentioned. If it has, clarify. I might have forgotten, but the point is that when Diablo attacked the mask on Shizu, his entire arm got shredded. It was just gone instantly. And it's clear as day that Diablo isn't weak. Like, he is definitely not a weak person. He is someone that can definitely put up a good challenge and might easily be able to give Rimuru's top subordinates a rough time. Maybe even defeat them. I don't think he probably can defeat Rimuru for Rimuru apparently being able to summon him. Well, actually, you know what? I take that back, actually. I mean, apparently the Silver Wing girl was able to summon Diablo even though she was at death's door, and I highly doubt she was that strong, so yeah, I guess you wouldn't have to technically be stronger than Diablo to summon him, so I guess that's out the window. So maybe this man is stronger than Rimuru. I mean, he is technically one of the color-coded demons or whatever. He's like Demon Black or whatever, so yeah, I'm assuming that he might be incredibly powerful, and for him to be affected by, you know, Shizu's mask like that, I'm just like, what's going on there? Like, that was never established or ever mentioned at all in the previous episodes from what I can remember. So if this is now popping up now, this is obviously going to be tied in with whatever is going on with Chloe. As you remember in the last episode, Chloe, she was possessed by a spirit that apparently was born in the future, and then kind of is rebirthing itself through Chloe, and you're like, what's going on there? So it seems like the whole thing with time traveling and all that is becoming more and more apparent with Chloe, especially with the mask. And it makes me wonder now if Shizu's Chloe. That's the impression I'm getting now because of just how the mask is apparently infinity, time related. What's going on there? Like, that's real weird. I'm just really weirded out by that. And if that really is the case, why hasn't Rimuru been able to detect it? Why hasn't, you know, anyone noticed it at all until this very point? Unless the effect of it is gone, and it was only there for that time being, or maybe it only works on demons. Who really knows? But okay, anyways, I do want to mention the fact that in this episode, Shizu was a really big part of this episode, which makes me happy, because we didn't really get a whole lot of Shizu, even though I grew close with her, and I got emotionally connected with her, and she wasn't around for a long time, but I did grow close to her character, and I think many can agree she was a great character when she was around. I'm happy that we had an episode kind of focusing on her, a time to when she wasn't at, you know, her wit's end, to where she finally was just giving up, and she was over, you know, and her life was about to come to an end. We got to see a strong-willed Shizu kind of living her life to the fullest in some ways, and trying to help people out. And seeing her trying to help out this kingdom, and then eventually facing Diablo, it shows that she isn't necessarily weak. Shizu was never a weak individual. She was definitely incredibly gifted and strong, and she was someone that definitely is quite a loss to society. When she finally died, she was a great loss, and I'm glad we had an episode just showing her in a different light from what we have seen. I mean, we've heard stories about her being this OP strong character, but actually getting to see it is definitely amazing instead of just hearing about it through stories. So, any other details? I guess, let's talk about the ending sequence and all that, and how it's definitely setting up for Diablo to be like a parallel to Rimuru. Like, when you look at the ending song and all that, you see a sequence with Rimuru and Diablo. They're going in the opposite directions, kind of like one's going up, one's going down, and with the way they are looking, going through the ending song, it's basically saying that these two characters are like yin and yang, like they're evil and good. And I'm just like, that's weird. Like, the way they're implying that is that, you know, for them to be shown together like this, something major is going to happen with these two characters. Like, they're incredibly important. Their relationship will be. And I'm still kind of curious about that. Why would Rimuru have to summon a demon, too? And also thinking about it, of how the demon was summoned. That is interesting, now I think about it. Diablo was summoned thanks to sacrificing, like blood or whatever. Like, you see the blood and all that. I wonder... How did Rimuru summon Diablo? That is a question now that I think about it. How did... Is it because he's so powerful he doesn't need to do that? He doesn't need, like, an object or anything to sacrifice? He could just ride on his own mana? Or did he... I might need to read ahead now. That actually has got me a little bit interested. That has me a little bit intrigued now, thinking about that little detail. Because that is something I didn't think about until just this second. But okay. Anyways, episode. Was it good? Was it bad? It was a good episode, obviously. I enjoyed it. I'm glad to have more content for Slime, because as we all know, we're not going to be getting any more of this series until 2020. Even though a Season 2 was announced, thankfully, thank God, there was a Season 2 announced, because this is a good and fun series. we're still gonna have to wait till 2020. And just FYI, it's 2019. It's only March. So, yeah, that's a long time. I mean, well, granted, honestly, at this point in time, a year doesn't really feel like that long anymore. I mean, time just flies by, honestly, nowadays, to me. So, really, 2020 will be here before we know it. But even then, though, it's still quite a bit. There's still a lot of anime between now and then that we're gonna get to watch. And so, it's gonna be a while. And I'm gonna miss, you know, being able to talk about this series with you guys. It's been quite a journey. So many of you guys have really enjoyed these reviews and, you know, enjoyed my video discussions on it, talking about, you know, the little details on it. You know, I'm going to miss it. I really am. I've enjoyed the community feedback on this series, too, in these videos. So, thank you so much for always tuning in to my reviews of Slime. So, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below, because for some reason, even if you click to subscribe, you don't always get notified. So if you do want to get notified, hit that bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.